What up YouTube, Shredded Otaku here. Today I'm going to be gushing a little bit and ranting about the new game, Sonic Frontiers. Now really quick guys, if you like videos like this, if you like to see short, buff, tattooed guys talk about video games and action figures, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. I would love to have you here. But anyway, without further ado, we're talking about Sonic Frontiers today guys. Now if you picked up this copy on day one like me, you also got this sweet steelbook, but I digress. This game has surprised me so much. And I gotta say, leading up to the launch, I was figuring like, okay, I guess I gotta play another Sonic game because I'm a fan. But, you know, after putting it in, I'm blown away. Sega went out of their way to say they wanted to make a good game this time. Nobody, I don't think, believed them, including myself, but they actually did it. Now, I myself have been a Sonic fan ever since Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. Some of my favorite childhood memories are playing on that original console, you know, dealing with the slowdown that occurred every now and then, but amazing game. But my favorite version of Sonic, and this is very controversial, but has always been 3D Sonic. Now we haven't had a good 3D Sonic since Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. It's pretty much the only time they ever did it. I mean, I guess you could argue that Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations were relatively decent games, right? Like they were good, they were reviewed well, etc., but they were kind of playing off of the 2D Sonic gimmick for a lot of the good parts of the games, at least in my opinion, right? As far as like a Sonic Adventure, like a game where you're Sonic in 3D, like a Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 were the only guys that really did it right. Now, if you go back to Sonic Adventure 1, one of the coolest things that blew me away as an 8-year-old was just right away you booted it up and you got this dramatic, crazy opening scene. That scene as a kid just resonated with me so much. It was like Sonic was growing up with me, right? Like it was all the vibes of like Dragon Ball and this dramatic, you know, kind of era of cartoons and media where everything was just very metal and it was cool. Going forward, Sonic Adventure 2 comes out and we got the Sonic who was very anti-authority. Just his entire demeanor was just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, let's do this.
What do you think you're doing? Get that hedgehog!
Talk about low-budget flights, no food or movies. I'm out of here. I like running better. Yeah!
Which really resonated with me as a punk rock teen myself. Because again, I felt like Sonic was kind of growing with me, like as just in general, like he was just a cool character that I really vibed with. Now I will say that after that, I was slowly more and more let down over the years, and my love for Sonic going forward was completely based in nostalgia, which hasn't been the greatest time. You know, we've seen everything from, you know, the worst, weirdest iterations of Sonic, like Sonic Forces, for example, which was almost like a create-your-own furry simulator. Played that game. I'm sorry, I did too. It wasn't great, but I've always been there. I've always been there supporting my boy, you know, throwing in the hype, getting through the games, whether they're great or not. I love them all for what they're worth. But now finally, the year is 2022, and we have a Sonic game that is legitimately freaking good, dude. Like, this isn't a review. This isn't me. I'm not gonna show you guys gameplay. Admittedly, I haven't beaten the game yet. I'm not one of those YouTubers that's gonna pick up a game that I feel like is this much of a gem and just rush it. But I will say that what I've played so far is everything that I imagined a Sonic being as a kid. Like the Sonic Adventure 3 that I always wanted, where you're just you just literally are Sonic. Like there's a whole open world where you kind of just are Sonic. Like you can go around, do whatever you want. The move set is great. The controls are tight. And I guess if I were to really try to give an analogy for what it is in terms of like the scope and things, I would say that it's almost like a combination of Breath of the Wild and Mario 64. And what I mean by that is like, no, it's not completely open world, but the open areas that you do explore are kind of like desolate and just very based in exploration and puzzle solving, like Breath of the Wild. That being said, it is zoned off similar to Mario 64, and there are little crevices, if you will, little zones that you can kind of discover and hop into, similar to the paintings in Princess Peach's castle in Mario 64. So it plays out, the vibe to me running around is like, again, very Zelda-esque. Like if you played Breath of the Wild, like the kind of desolate vibes that you get, just with the very minimalistic soundtrack in the background, and everything is just kind of open and there, and your task is to run around and explore. Now, not only are you running around and exploring, but there's also RPG elements thrown in. So you can literally level up Sonic's moveset, to the best of your ability with the limited information that you're kind of given, which again kind of harkens back to the Breath of the Wild, figure it out yourself type gameplay. It is so well done, and I apologize if this seems a little all over the place, but I'm honestly blown away by how well they've been able to make this game work. Now, the only thing that I was let down with was in every Sonic game that I've played that I really loved, there was always like a really cool soundtrack. And the desolate vibes that you get running around this open world are very fitting for the game, but I was sitting there for the first couple nights going, man, like, I want my Sonic vibes back. I want my like pop punk or metalcore, whatever game they were going with. They always had a cool vibe. Now it took a little bit, but I will say that did happen. Minor spoilers going forward. If you guys have not beaten the first zone, if you don't want to know what happens in the first zone, pretty much every YouTube thumbnail has probably spoiled this already. But I have to throw that out there because on my channel I'm very anti-spoiler. But, okay, you're still here. So, after you beat the first zone, first of all, Sonic's vibe in this game, I have to preface this by saying, Sonic's vibe, his tone of voice, like literally his voice actor, has very much evolved, again, just like when I was a kid, and he evolved with me in terms of like my punk rock, anti-authority type, like, screw the system, Sonic. Like that was very cool with me growing up, and I resonated with that character. Now Sonic has kind of seen and done everything. So not only is his voice actor much deeper in tone, but like his whole demeanor is very like reserved and just kind of like, all right. So you beat the first zone. You got 6 of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, which if you don't know anything about Sonic adventure games or just Sonic games in general, after Sonic obtains the 7 Chaos Emeralds, he's able to transform into Super Sonic, which is kind of like a ripoff of Super Saiyan Goku from Dragon Ball, but it's super cool. So anyway, you got 6 out of the 7 emeralds, and there's a big boss coming up, and you're talking to Amy, and you're like, yo, like, I don't know where the 7th one is, and Amy's like, I've looked everywhere for it, like, we have no idea. And Sonic kind of just stops for a second, he's like, whatever, I'll probably find it on the way. And then he runs off. He's very kind of chill, like, I've seen this before, whatever. Which is really cool. It's really cool to see Sonic kind of level out and grow up, and, sorry to backtrack a little bit, but there's another scene where he kind of he really doubles down on this character point where he's like, you're doing these little meaningless side quests, and as a player, like, I was kind of sitting there going like, wow, like this is the first level, this is an interesting tutorial system, and in one of the cutscenes, Sonic literally says like, we're wasting our time here, like, I just want to save you guys. But he doesn't say it in like a we need to do this now. He's just very chill and relaxed, just kind of like, you realize we're wasting time here. And it's cool to see Sonic level up like that. Anyway, back to what I was saying before. So, Sonic is running off towards certain doom because he doesn't have all the 7 Chaos Emeralds yet. He doesn't know how he's going to get them, but he's Sonic, so he's going to figure it out. You get to this boss, you kind of do this little thing where you get the 7th Emerald, right? Like, it's there. And then something beautiful happens. Something absolutely beautiful.
I'm hanging on to the other side. I won't give.
Where the coolest, like almost metalcore song comes on, and it is just an all-out battle with Supersonic. The freaking supersonic battle that I wanted as a kid growing up and never got. And you know, it's like that funny scene in what's the movie I'm thinking of? Step Brothers. You know, where they're like, wow, we got all this stuff. Imagine if we had this when we were kids. You know, like imagine if I had this game when I'm a kid. Well, I'm 30 now, and I do. In the movie, the quote is 40, but that's pretty much how I feel. It's like, I think I can appreciate this almost better as an adult, knowing what all they had to do was kind of push a Sonic game out, and people would have bought it, but they went the extra mile and really made the ultimate Sonic Adventure game. Now, they're not going to brand it as Sonic Adventure 3, because, let's be real, this game is still, going with the modern, target demographic of 12-year-olds. But for those of us that remember, there are literally parts of this game where Sonic references Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. There's like a scene where you go underneath a waterfall and he goes, yo, this reminds me of Mystic Ruins, which is a zone in Sonic Adventure 1. So this game is really just I feel like is a total just love letter to the real fans of the Sonic series, especially Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And I can't stress enough just how well they did it right. There's really no point to this video at all, other than me ranting about Sonic the Hedgehog and telling you that if you are on the fence at all about buying this game, you should definitely pick it up. It is by far just the best game that I could possibly imagine Sega doing for this. Now, outside of that, guys, now that I'm done with my Sonic rant, I will say that my videos have been a little bit sporadic here and there. I did just have a birthday this last week, so I've been a little busy myself. But even outside of that, I also suffered from an injury, a pretty bad neck injury that kind of took me out and made me feel a little bit unmotivated. So I'm looking to get back into this, and hopefully I'll have a lot more content soon coming up. I know this week is Scarlet and Violet, the Pokemon games, coming out on the Nintendo Switch this Friday, which coincidentally I did a little bit of weaseling, and I have the day off work myself. So I'll be picking up Scarlet and Violet on release day myself. I'm already prepped, have the OLED model ready, just wanting to put that cartridge in. So I'm hoping to have played enough that day to give some kind of insight and review just the very next day, or maybe even that evening. Me and my girlfriend are going to be trading back and forth and really getting into our Pokemon thing there. If you guys are interested in that, stick around. Again, hit that subscribe button. But for the time being, guys, let's revel in this victory as Sonic fans. We really did it. We really freaking did it, dude. All right. If you're still here, congratulations. You made it through another video that was unscripted on me, and I really thank you for that. Thank you, guys, and have a blessed day.
Together form awesome power.
Attention all units. Suspect seen heading south. Block all major roads